I finished my homework Friday night alongside Mom at the dining table, within sight of two Guatemalan weavings and Lake Atilan on the wall. I'm starting to like that lake a bit, and the blue volcanoes rising around its edge. A bit. Normal families do things like watch movies on Friday nights, but we're not all that normal. Dad reads or plays his guitar. Mom studies. When I don't have homework, I do origami or take pictures or do something Mom and Dad think is productive. Either that or play. Mom and Dad are big on play. They've always let me play Lego or Tea Party for hours. Right now, though, I'm playing the big kid, and Mamito is the one playing games. He spins nearby on his sit and spin, a toy that whirls him around when he turns a wheel in the middle. Dad wanders in, wiping his hands on a dish towel. He looks over my shoulder and shouts, Sia, why didn't you tell me you were writing a poem? Don't help me, Dad. He looks a little hurt, but says, Of course, it must be your own work. He turns to Mom. Que poesia? He quotes. It must be a love poem because Mom looks up from her work and they share a kiss. Sheesh, they're always in romance land, even with Dad holding a dish towel. My phone vibrates. Hey Q, Jaden here. How goes it? My thumbs tingle as I type. Parents in a lick lock. Ew. Ha ha. What's up, Key? Mom says, you look happy as a cow in clover. Who's texting? My breath halts. She probably thinks I'll say Kirsten or Olivia since we hung out last year. But we stopped texting over the summer. I hear the drone of Mamito spinning. Just Jaden. Jaden? Dad squints. I want to meet this Jaden. Dad, he's my friend. He's in my English class. I want one of those shirts, Dad says to Mom. One of what shirts, mi alma? The one that says DADD, Dads Against Daughters Dating. Not funny, Dad. How hovery can he be? I just know he'll be impossible when I do date someday. Oh, this isn't dating, Mom chuckles, turning back to her work. I called boys when I was her age. We bought an extra long phone cord so I could talk in my room. See, I say. Thank you, Mom. Dad frowns. My father interrogated every boy who came to see my sister. You can do that in a few years. Mom gives me a wink. I hope she's kidding. The next morning, I let the sunshine wake me up. Saturday stretches out in all directions, my unexplored island. I sing the choir song as I spin on the swing in the backyard. I imagine writing a movie script starring Jaden. Mamito plays rodeo on his stick horse, and I think about when we took him to the real rodeo. We hauled him to the petting zoo, the milking parlor, and the birthing center where piglets and calves toddled around and nursed, but he spent the whole time covering his ears or his face. Then he pitched a fit and wouldn't ride the ponies. I love him up the hill and down the mountain, but he's definitely different. Sensitive, I guess. On Sunday, my Saturday shimmers turn to rust. Ready to go? Dad says brightly, poking his head in. It's the worst way to be woken up. I don't say no, but I think it. Tia Lencha, Tio Pancho, and my three cousins have settled in across town, and we're invited to a reunion, which Dad pronounces reunion. It sounds like what Mom would call a shindig and I would call a party. Will I have to speak Spanish? I ask. You can manage, por favor and gracias, says Mom. Being polite goes a long way. Mom, please and thank you are not going to help much. Just do your best. You know more than you think you do. I don't know what to say to this. The main thing I know is how much I don't know. You could wear your huipi, she says in the same voice as when Mamito won't eat his okra. I'm good, I say. I'm sticking with capris and a t-shirt. Even if I'm nervous on the inside, I can be comfortable on the outside. I hear the apartment even before we get to the building. Man, did Tia Lencha and Tio Pancho invite the whole complex? My breath gets shallow, and Mamito whines to be picked up and buries his head in Mom's shoulder. When the door opens, the warm smell of corn tortillas greet us. From a cluster of people, a man bounds forward. Hermano, he says, pulling Dad into a tight hug. Dad hugs his brother for a long time. When they part, tears stand in their eyes. I guess this move is a bigger deal than I thought. We're barely in the doorway when Maribel, Raul, and Krista crowd around me saying, "Hey, check this out!" Maribel clicks a phone app to turn a lamp on and off. They're 16, 13, and 9. Mom says I met Maribel when I was little, but I don't remember that. I might have met Raul if he weren't going to the other junior high. They bundled me off to another part of the apartment. "This is our room," they say, pointing to the 3 mattresses on the floor and a wall full of animal posters. Tia Lencha calls out something and they answer in fluent Spanish. Then a few sentences that sound like half English and half Spanish zip between them. I listen hard, but I can't keep up. "We have our own game system here," Krista says. "Have you played Raft Racer?" Raul says. "How about Catapult?" "Give her some space," Maribel says and turns to me. They're just excited is all. Finally, we plop down on a comforter with a unicorn on it. I'm guessing it's Krista's. "So, Kihana, where are the horses?" Raul asks. His black hair stands thick on his head like a push broom. "I keep asking, but no one will tell me." "Huh? Is this Texas or what?" "Oh," I squelch a laugh. "Most people don't own horses here." "Yeah, not a single person rode a horse to school." He's shaking his head. "Not that different from Chicago?" "I'm really bummed," he says. Maribel leans in. She's in high school and wears makeup, and her wavy hair, I notice, is stiff with gel. "Our friends up home were convinced we'd ride to school on horseback." "I like your hair, Kiana," Krista says. "Yours is pretty too," I say. In fact, we have similar hair, long, dark brown, and thick enough to hang hot on our necks in the summer. "Can I braid it?" Krista asks. "Hey!" Raul jumps off the bed. "Rubber band wars!" Krista hops up, and even Maribel runs across the room and reaches behind the dresser. "What's—" I start. They pull out a giant rubber bands and start stretching them across bars of the wood on homemade rubber band guns. A clothespin on one end of the device holds the rubber band until it's released. This has possibilities. "I can share with you, Kiana," offers Krista. "Wait," says Maribel. "Here's Dad," she says, handing me another rubber band gun. With the parents buckled into their conversations in the living room, the rest of the apartment is ours. The only rule is no aiming for faces. We run rooms, we climb counters, we hide behind doors and ambush each other. My best move is when I hide behind a recliner and land a rubber band on Raul's shin. Even if I take a double hit from Krista and Maribel, we fall down on one of their mattress beds laughing. I can't remember the last time I had this much fun. Finally, Maribel announces, "All right, chicos, I have some people to talk to," and disappears behind her phone. The rest of us decide to sneak up on the grown-ups. "I'm not shooting Mommy," Krista says. "Of course not," Raul says. "Just hit the wall near our head. First, we'll do some reconnaissance." "What?" Krista says. "You know, get the lay of the land, scope out the enemy." Krista still looks confused, but I imitate Raul, who drops to his stomach. A row of folding chairs marks the front lines, and we crawl up to eavesdrop. Krista giggles, which makes me giggle too. "Shh," says Raul. "Sorry," says Krista, still laughing. "Shh," she says to me. "Shh," I say back, also laughing. Even Raul presses his lips together to hold back a chuckle. It's more giggles and shushing each other until I hear my father mention my name. I listen more carefully. The Spanish is sounding less like a string of noise and more like individual words. I catch a few that I must have learned from children's songs. Then I understand a whole sentence spoken by my aunt. "Nunca te llama papi?" "She never calls you papi?" My father answers, "No, ella me llama dad." She calls me dad. The adults move on, paddling their conversation out of that eddy, but open water stretches between me and my cousins as they turn to stare. "You say dad?" Raul asks. "Sure, don't you?" I know the answer. Raul sits up and looks at Krista, then confirms. "We say papi." "So?" I sit up too. "Leave her alone," Krista says, taking my arm. "But it's weird. Like, he never said, 'Call me dad,' did he?" "Well, no." "Then why do you?" Raul throws his rubber band gun aside and stands up. "I was born here," I say, standing up too. "But your papi wasn't." He shakes his head and wanders to the kitchen. Raul, Crystal shouts, watching him go. He can be a jerk. Want to keep playing? Nah. I feel a little sick, but I shrug as Krista starts putting away the rubber band guns. Why does he care? We've played in English this whole time. Still, Papi, repeats in my head. Raul is being a jerk. But what if he's right? Does Dad want to be called Papi? He didn't call his own father Dad, and he's obsessed with showing me exactly how he did things as a kid. Now the words sound flat to me. Dad. The A seems smashed. Papi sounds rounder, more like a hug. Does more love fit in that open mouth? Ah, Papi? Pa? Why do I suddenly feel like I can't do anything right? Mamito starts crying, bored of Mom's lap and the grown-up talk. I'll take him, I say. I gather him up and we step outside by ourselves. Just concrete and parked cars out here. But I don't want to go back in. Mamito likes the quiet too. He squats down to pick up a leaf and looks up at it close. I send Jaden a text, but he doesn't answer. I reread our text from Friday night and don't feel any better. The string of silly emojis from Grandma helps a little. Mamito whispers, and I see that his overall strap is twisted. When I fix it, his face shows relief, but soon he drops his leaf and whispers until I have to take him in. I think of getting a bottle of bubbles out of his toy bag, but this day is definitely a pop balloon because he immediately wiggles till I put him down, and then he runs straight toward Krista. You're welcome, Mamito. Where's Maribel? She wasn't part of the Papi Dad mess, and she has a movie stars on the wall above her bed like a typical teen. She and I could breathe blue jean air and trade Coca-Cola talk. But when I find her in the kitchen, Raul is already talking to her at the counter, in Spanish, of course. Raul stops mid-sentence when he sees me, but then continues and smirks. Is he talking about me? He leaves the room, still grinning. Finally, Mom's voice carries in from the living room. Time to go, she said. I'm more than ready to leave. I whisk up Mamito and walk into the living room just as Mom's saying, I can't believe we never made it to Chicago. We understand, Tia Lencha says, all of us. We always workin'. Mom agrees, nodding as she hugs Tia. We'll have to do this again soon. Great. When the cousins line up to hug us, they act like nothing's happened. Nothing really has for them. I'm the one who can't switch languages like bike speeds. Grandma Miller says to never apologize for who you are. But who even am I? My cousins have something I'm supposed to have. Everyone adioses me. I stubbornly say bye. I look at Mamito. He's lucky. No one expects him to say anything. In the car, I put my earbuds in. I can't find a just right song, so I sit in silence. Unfortunately, this means I hear Mom gushing on and on about how amazing my cousins are. Those kids are something, she says, so polite and speaking English like they're native born. Lencha and Pancho must be proud, Dad says, shaking his head. Wow. I feel a pinch in my heart, and I pick a loud song to drown out whatever they say next.